This season of the Urban Conservative Podcast is brought to you by Newton for Senate, working to improve education, reduce taxes, and keep North Carolina #1 for business. Find out more at newtonforsenate.com. This episode of the Urban Conservative has also been sponsored by Case Technology Consulting. Help your business get value out of its data and become more efficient and streamlined. Case Technology Consulting. Check out the link in the description. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Top of the Morning, the best 30-minute morning show on the planet. I am Abdul Ali. My twin brother, Raheem, architect Soto, is working on assignment. So you got me this morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope each and every one of you are doing fantastic. If you haven't done so already, please jump over to tuconservative.com. That is the website that you can go to support what we do here at the Urban Conservative, which is to help spread the values of conservatism and the benefits of conservative policies to urban areas across this great nation of ours. Again, that website, tuconservative.com. You can get yourself a t-shirt. You can sponsor an episode or sponsor a season if you like, to help us keep the dice rolling while we do what it is that we do here. One other thing, I am running for NCGOP Vice Chair. If you haven't done so already, please feel free to reach out to me directly about the campaign and all the things we've got going on. As you can see, we've got a website up and running for your watching and viewing pleasure. Again, tuconservative.com. You can just hit that tab that says Ali for NC to find out more about my vision of success for the NCGOP, how we can become more visible in our urban centers, how we can be truly that big tent party that pulls everybody who shares our values in, regardless of their ethnicity, regardless of their religion, regardless of their station in life. If they believe that the work of the party is to share these values and to share conservatism, then we need to pull them in, and that's what I'm looking forward to doing. I will see you all at convention June 8th through the 11th in Greensboro. The election is Saturday the 10th. I hope you will register. You have a few more days to do that. I think you've got about 4 or 5 more days to register. So again, NCGOP convention June 8th through the 11th in Greensboro. I myself am running for vice chair. I hope you will come out, support, and you can always reach out to me. Let's see if we got anything popping in the comments. Okay, nice. Shouts out to Marla. Good morning. Our good friend Marla's in the building. As always, jump in the comments. Let us know where you're watching or listening from so that we can give you a shout out. Now, a couple of things we're going to cover this morning. If you have a cup of coffee in your hand, don't drop it when I do this, but that guy. Yep. Good old Uncle Bernie, Mr. Let me be crystal clear. Let me be crystal clear, okay? That guy is coming to Durham, ladies and gentlemen, tonight, okay? So I'm just going to read this to y'all. Bernie Sanders out of Vermont announced on Memorial Day that he'll hold rallies in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Tennessee in support of increasing the federal minimum wage to $17 an hour. And this is his quote. At a time of massive and growing income and wealth inequality, here we go with the wealth inequality and record-breaking corporate profits, we must stand up for working families, many of whom are struggling every day to provide a minimal standard of living for their families. There are too many Americans trying to survive and raise families on $9, $10, or $12 an hour. It cannot be done. I suggest, Mr. Sanders, someone who has never held a real job in their life, you come down here to North Carolina and talk to some of the families in Concord. You talk to some of the families in the city that you're going to be in Durham, and you tell them who are doing it, it cannot be done. The injustice must end. Low-income workers need a pay raise, and the American people want them to get that raise. Well, how about you weren't even paying your campaign people properly? You weren't even giving them $15 an hour, Uncle Bernie. So why are you going to come down here talking about what people need to do, raise the federal minimum wage to $17 an hour? Now, I'm also going to throw this out there. What if you do get $17 an hour and you're still poor, have poor money habits? What good is it? Also, what good is an additional $4 or $5 an hour if the inflation is gobbling up the increase? See, these are the things that people have to think about when these politicians come out and say these stupid things. Bernie Sanders has never held a regular job in his life. He's never actually signed a check in his life. And the sad part about this, and folks, I'm not making this up, doesn't even pay his folks. Hold on, I'm gonna find it right now. Just because y'all can't say, here you go. For a staffer working 40 hours a week, that comes out to about $17 an hour, but 40-hour work weeks on a presidential campaign. Sanders said the campaign will limit the number of hours staff will work to 42 or 43 each work to ensure they're making an equivalent of 15. So he's not even paying his own staff what he's running around telling you as a business owner and us as tax-paying citizens what we ought to be paying people. That is not the way economics works. If you would have ever had a job or ran a business, Uncle Bernie, you would know that that doesn't work. That's not how things are supposed to go. Sanders will be joined by Durham County Commissioner Nida Alam in Durham, Tennessee State Rep Justin Jones in Nashville, and State Rep Wendell Gilliard in Charleston, South Carolina. Oh, Lord. The Reverend William Barber II, founding director at the Center for Public Theology and Public Policy at Yale, I guess that's Yale Divinity School, will also join all three stops with Sanders to make the moral case of raising wages. According to a news release from Sanders, 60% of American workers are living paycheck to paycheck. A decline in life expectancy for low-income Americans and the nation are the highest rate of childhood poverty of almost any major country. The major minimum wage has not been raised in the United States since 2009. Now, last thing I'm going to say on this minimum wage thing, and I say this as respectfully as I possibly can. If you are 45, 46, 44, 50, 55, okay, and you're at the peak of your career making $15, $14, $13 an hour, that's a skills issue. You don't have the skills that warrant getting paid more than that. Hold on, let me turn this off. If you have not taken the liberty of improving your skills, taking a correspondence course, going down to the community college, taking a local, there are programs at community colleges, welding, pipe fitting, plumbing, carpentry, hair, nail. There are so many opportunities to increase the level of skill that you have, to increase the money that you make. But if you are not taking advantage of those, or you do not know that those programs are there, you can expect to be staying at that wage. Minimum wage is not meant to be a salary to feed a family. It is an entry level wage, people. There's no way I would start a company, okay, and look at the profit margin and say, I'll put hours and hours and countless time, sweat, equity, energy, my own money into building a company to then turn around and have the federal government tell me I can't make money because I have to pay these people more than my business model will allow. So it's absolute garbage. I hope some people go out there and tell with some Bernie go home signs. Okay. I hope y'all go and protest and tell Bernie he's not welcome here. And we're going to take a quick commercial break right here on Top of the Morning. We're going to come back and talk a little bit about China. Apparently some stuff is going on with China. They're not getting some bread from us that they thought they were going to get. So y'all don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. Top of the Morning. This season of the Urban Conservative Podcast is brought to you by Newton for Senate, working to improve education, reduce taxes, and keep North Carolina #1 for business. Find out more at newtonforsenate.com. This episode of the Urban Conservative has also been sponsored by Case Technology Consulting. Help your business get value out of its data and become more efficient and streamlined. Case Technology Consulting. Check out the link in the description. right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Top of the Morning. You're checking out the best 30-minute morning show on the planet. Again, I'm Abdul Ali with you this morning. Again, shouts out to my twin brother who's working on an assignment. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, no dough for China. No dough. So apparently, China was supposed to get a $200 million grant to a company, CCP-linked Microvast, and because of Republican scrutiny, Joe Biden's administration canceled the $200 million grant it previously planned to award to a lithium-ion battery maker after some Republican lawmakers criticized the deal. The Department of Energy selected Microvast to receive the $200 million from a fund created under the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act of 2021. Funds were intended to help America become less reliant on China for critical supplies like lithium-ion batteries. Now, Microvast was one of the 20 companies that was chosen despite maintaining a substantial portion of operations in China. Breitbart reported that Microvast is owned by holding company Microvast Holding Inc. In December 24th. On December 2021, filing to the Securities and Exchange Commission, Microvast Holdings stated, "A substantial portion of our facilities are currently located in the People's Republic of China, which we refer to as PRC or China." Republican lawmakers this February wrote a letter to the Energy Secretary, Jennifer Granholm, demanding answers about why the Biden administration selected Microvast to receive the funds that were intended to help Americans. Okay? The American lawmakers asked Granholm on February 7th this question: if the goal of this funding is to reduce U.S. dependence on foreign entities for critical minerals, why would you award funding to a company with obvious ties to the CCP? Later that month, they announced the $200 million grant was under review, and they have decided to not give that $200 million grant to that company, rightfully so, because we should not be investing in China, ladies and gentlemen. We should not be sending $200 million to China. We should not be doing that. We should not be allowing China to buy very crucial farmland. We should not be allowing them as a government to buy land that is close to our military. And since we're mentioning that, isn't it odd that a lot of the people crossing the southern border are men of military age? Isn't do you find that somewhat, I don't know, not odd, but just a little troubling? I do. I don't think we should be funding that. I don't think we should be allowing people to do that. On Monday, administration officials announced that they canceled plans for the Microvast grant. As responsible stewards of American taxpayer dollars, the Department of Energy maintains a rigorous review process prior to the release of any awarded funds, and it is not uncommon for entities selected to participate in award negotiations under a DOE competitive funding opportunity to not ultimately receive an award. The Chinese Foreign Ministry said it firmly opposes the decision. Of course they do. Of course you're mad you're not getting that $200 million. In a response to the U.S. withdrawal of $200 million grant to Chinese-linked Texas-based firm Microvast, the Chinese Foreign Ministry said on Tuesday that while its business decision in the U.S.'s own eternal manner, China firmly opposes the U.S. making an issue out of China. However, Republican lawmakers have praised Biden administration's decision to cancel the grant. House Science, Space, and Technology Committee Chairman Frank Lucas was pleased with the decision, calling it a win for taxpayers and American businesses, but noted he was frustrated that it took the department 6 months, multiple letters from the committee, to come to such obvious conclusion. Because, ladies and gentlemen, if they didn't get in on that, Biden and your mans in them would have been putting that money into China. If it wasn't for Republicans sending those letters out, digging in, and finding out what's going on, China would have got that bread, ladies and gentlemen. Thank goodness Republicans are doing the right thing and holding them accountable. Y'all don't go nowhere. We're going to take a very quick commercial break right here on Top of the Morning. We'll be right back. Episode of Top of the Morning is brought to you by Edward Jones financial advisor Kelly Harmon, providing you with well-researched guidance backed by Edward Jones' extensive team and technology that help you prepare for retirement, children's education, or other financial goals. Call 252-473-1006 or visit the link on the screen. Welcome back to Top of the Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Abdul Ali here with you. Glad you could join us. And yes, y'all see what it is. Y'all know what it is. Black Lives Matter, BLM. Bold lesbian Marxist. Should be broke lesbian Marxist right now because the jig is up. They're headed for insolvency. 8.5 million into the red. But founder Patrisse Cullors' brother was still paid 1.6 million for security services in 2022, while the sister of board member earning 1.1 million for consulting. The Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation, the nonprofit that grew out of the protest movement, is hemorrhaging cash. It sounds more like they're dumping cash so that they can hook their homies up. The group ran an $8.5 million deficit and saw the value of its investment account drop nearly $10 million, with fundraising down 88% on the year. And that is because, ladies and gentlemen, the jig is up. The scam is over, right? This whole idea, we get it. Black Lives Matter. You got to live under a rock to not think that Black Lives Matter. We get the sentiment. We as conservatives will stand shoulder to shoulder with anybody when the police or anybody else does something wrong. But what y'all were doing was an outright scam. It was a political theater at its best. Okay? It was an outright grift, ladies and gentlemen. An outright total grift. And black people, a lot of black people and a lot of white liberals fell for it hook, line, and sinker. Financial disclosures obtained by the Washington Free Beacon show that the perilous state of BLM's Global Network Foundation officially emerged in November of 2020 as a more formal way of structuring the civil rights movement. Yet, the financial controversy and scrutiny, BLM Global National Foundation continued to hire relatives of Patrisse Cullors and several other board members. Paul Cullors set up two companies which were paid $1.6 for providing professional security services for Black Lives Matter. Okay? 1.6 mil. Patrisse Cullors was employed as Paul Cullors was employed of the head of security team at the $6 million Los Angeles mansion bought with charity donations. Hold on. Wait a minute. You heard me. This mansion right here, $6 million mansion bought with the money donated to Air Finger, quote, help black people. Okay. And that's the $6 million mansion that they bought with your bread. Danielle Edwards, who runs a consultancy firm, New Impact, was hired by BLM. Her brother Howard was a member of BLM's board. She got paid. Donations to the National Organization of Black Lives Matter, 90% from 21 to 22, as the group's use of funds continued to cause controversy. Patrisse Cullors stepped down as head in 2021, but she still got that $6 million mansion. Okay? Dezane Parker, Cicely Gay, and Shalamaya Bowers posed for a portrait. A consulting firm run by Shalamaya Bowers, who is BLM's board secretary and served as deputy executive director, was paid $1.7 million. Okay? 1.7 mil. So here's what you got. The grift was obvious. They don't care now. They've got the mansions. They've got the money in the account. It was a grift, and we all know it. So bottom line to this, folks, that's what happens when you fall for these fly-by-night movements, these Marxist-based movements, and that was the play from the very beginning, to use you, to use your anger, to use your frustration, to use the sentiment that Marxists in our country have used, which is to divide people. They used it for grift, and they got paid. Well, they going broke now, ladies and gentlemen. Broke lives matter. There you have it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you have been checking out Top of the Morning here on the Urban Conservative. Let me take a look here real quick. No one heard of BLM until George Floyd. That's about right. There you go. They used George Floyd and a bunch of other things to grift off of the people is the bottom line. All right, so we hope you, as always, have a positive and productive and powerful day. We will see you guys here tomorrow morning, bright and early, 9 a.m. for Top of the Morning here on the Urban Conservative. For my twin brother, I'm about to say my twin brother, Abdul Ali. For my twin brother, Raheem Architect Soto, I'm Abdul Ali. We'll catch y'all next time.